Hey guys, this is BiXX. Welcome to another Mentoring Monday. I have a fantastic topic today, one that'll give you great perspective into where you are in your life cycle and what changes and growth you can expect in your future. I think it might be the best topic I've ever done, so please hang in there and watch it. This topic is called What You Can Expect from Each Decade of Your Life. I wish someone would have put this talk into a video when I was much younger. It would help me better know what lies ahead, because it would help me better accept and understand where I am today, plus understand where, when, and how I can grow as a person. Today's talk will give you great perspective on how you will slowly change and hopefully improve in each decade of your life from your 20s into your 60s. Once you better understand each decade, you'll give yourself permission to make mistakes, because failures are necessary for growth into the future phases of your life. I'll give you some personal examples of my life experiences through each one of these phases. While I have been able to look back and describe each decade of growth in my life, the topic revealed itself in absolute clarity when I listened to an interview with John Acuff, the author of a book, Start, on the show Wisdom from the Top by Guy Raz. This show's on the podcast app on iPhones, in case you want to look at it. Okay, let's dive into it. The decade of your 20s. Your 20s is the period of learning. It's really a tough period and tough time for a lot of people. There's so much uncertainty about where you're heading. It's a decade of experimenting, trying to figure out what works and what does not work. We're trying a bunch of things in our life in our 20s. Different jobs, different dating relationships, possibly lots of partying because it's fun. We're still trying to figure out who we are. Be brave in your 20s. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and try different things. We're learning what works and does not work. Personally, in my 20s, I experienced a lot of failed dating relationships. I learned a lot about mostly what kind of person was not right for me, and I learned a lot about myself. I figured it out before my 30s, and at the end of my 20s, I got married. Today, I'm still married to the same wonderful person. Professionally, I tried different jobs. I eventually learned I wanted to work for a small company where I could help create the strategy rather than execute the strategy created by someone else in a very large company. I learned the importance of customer service skills, which has served me for a lifetime. I learned the importance of a customer experience and building long-term relationships. The decade of your 30s. This is a period of editing. This is when you break down and you figure out what exactly you want to do. Maybe not exactly, but what you want to do. We look back at the mistakes of our 20s and what did we learn? We put this together to start to figure out what we enjoy doing and what we're good at. Figure out what is not important to make more time for what's important. Professionally, in my early 30s, I realized I wanted to be the guy to create the strategy, the guy to run the company, to be the leader. So I changed jobs to go work for someone who would teach me these leadership skills and potentially sell me his company. At 37, when I felt like I learned enough, I actually left to buy a very small, dying company that I turned around. Personally, I entered the phase of my life where my wife and I had children. This helped me get focused on what's really important in life. If you struggle to understand what's most important in your life, hold a baby in your arms. That'll help you figure it out. The decade of your 40s is the period of mastering. Focus and master on what you've chosen to do. By this time, you've got a lot of experiences that allow you to master your craft. Professionally, as I hit my early 40s, my company was growing and becoming more successful than I could have ever imagined. Something about focusing all my efforts into my own company and learn how to hire great people. I could not do these things in my 30s, but I got really good at it in my 40s. I made some big mistakes in business, but nothing too big that we could not learn from it and we could recover from it. Personally, as my kids were getting a little older, I spent more and more time in their lives trying to be a good father and to teach them good values. I learned this from my father. I also learned about the value of spending lots of time with your children and how that would affect them later in life and how the contrary would affect them as well. The decade of your 50s, a period of harvesting. You begin to see the benefits of all the time and effort that you've put into the different areas of your life. You start to see some things come to fruition. Financially, it also should be the most profitable time of your life, the time where you want to earn money and save. So for me professionally, I grew my company to a size that it gained the attention of larger companies. I sold my company, so now I had money in the bank. I also had financial independence. I developed into a really good leader, but I got to be honest here. I made a lot of mistakes being a leader. I ran off some good people, but I accepted accountability for these mistakes and I kept learning. I eventually evolved into a very good leader. Personal and family, my kids were growing up, mostly into great young adults. Certainly there were some bumps along the way. It was not easy raising kids, but it was very rewarding to see that they actually did listen to us and understood many of the values my wife and I had taught them. I want to mention I did leave my company in my 50s, so I went through a very difficult time of soul searching to figure out what's next. But I applied everything I learned during my life to create what you know now as the BiXX brand of music and mentoring. Which brings me to the decade of the 60s, the period of guiding, mentoring, and using your experience to give back. Hopefully, now you know why I do Mentoring Mondays, the period of guiding. The key here, it's my job now to go find people to help. I help a lot of people in the music industry. It's very rewarding. What's surprising is there's a lot of people who I offer to help just don't want the help. They cannot see past their current situation. Asking for help is a strength, it's not a weakness. I receive a great deal of satisfaction from helping people improve their lives. So many times we get stuck and need a more experienced perspective from someone else. This is very rewarding to me. Personally, my wife and I travel the world with some DJ gigs as well to meet and help people in small ways. We're networking. And I speak to anyone who's willing to listen. I try to help them be better at what they do or a little bit happier in their life. Also, I think it's very healthy to have relationships with people older and more experienced than you. You can learn so much. And also with people who are at least 20 years younger than you. This way, you can see the world through the lens of a younger person. They see many things that you're not seeing. It takes humility to let somebody much younger than you guide you with what they're good at. So I'm at the end of today's topic. I hope this journey through the current and future decades of your life has helped you gain some confidence and perspective. Confidence that it's okay to not have life figured out yet. Confidence to make mistakes and to keep growing. Confidence to know your life can keep getting better no matter where you are now and no matter what's happened to you. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Cheers.
Most people, once they graduate from the School of Hard Knocks, automatically enroll in the University of Adversity. There is only one road to human greatness, through the School of Hard Knocks.